Real successful people are the ones who don't even bother about the obstacles because they know exactly what they want. Maxime Lagacé. And my friends, that means that you're not worried about how long it's going to take you to master the charts because you know you're going to master the charts. And you know that once you do that, you'll make up for every second of every minute, of every hour, of every day, of every week, of every month, of every year that you put into your craft. You know you're going to the top because you're just going to stick with it until you do. And the world turns aside for a man who is willing to persevere. My friends, stick with this. You can do it. And once you do it, once you can read these charts, you have early retirement choice. You have financial freedom. You have all those things just 10 to 15 minutes each and every day. I love this. I come to you each and every day for free. I bring to you what I'm seeing. I tell you what I'm doing. And it is one of the joys of my life. I love the market. I don't gamble. I hate Vegas. I hate the whole idea of gambling because it's just happenstance. Whereas the market, being able to read a stock chart, knowing when to buy, and whenever I talk to people that are into fundamentals, I love market fundamentals. I love stock fundamentals. I have an undergraduate degree in business, a master's degree in business, a law degree in mostly corporate law and business, SEC regulations, you name it. And I've done all that, but I love the fact that regardless of the technical stuff I know as to what stuff is supposed to be doing, I love what I see in these charts, being able to watch the effects of millions or billions of transactions, people being involved, the deep thinking quant computers and all the dark money and all the other stuff that's going on. So much of what's happening you can see in the volume, you can see in the Heikin-Ashi candlesticks and the trend lines. You can see what's going on, the machinations of the market. It is amazing. And the more you get involved in it, the more fascinated you can become by it if you don't let yourself get burnt out. That's why I'm really a stickler on this 10 to 15 minutes. It's not 4 hours every day, spending all day Saturday and Sunday reviewing charts from the last week, sitting around in your pajamas from 5 a.m. until what? It's none of that for me. It is what I enjoy, tracking, charting, watching things go in the right direction, whether that is up or down. Now, enough said, enough encouragement. Let's jump into these charts. Only got a few minutes left. This is a day where everything's down but Bitcoin. Now, let's look at where we are. I've told you guys that I think the gloves are totally off when we get into November, maybe even working up to it. Market crashes always occur in what month? October. Not that one's going to occur now. I'm just saying 2 weeks of up movement, things staving off a little bit this week. Now the market could make up for it tomorrow and could just drive up through the roof. What's going to do that? Well, remember the party in charge wants to stay in charge, right? They don't want the market to crash, so they could try to do something. They could buy, hook or crook to try to keep the market up. But it's only going to keep up for so long. And it does appear like it's getting longer in the tooth, but it can get longer and longer and longer. What do we see as far as volume goes? Well, we are down today just barely 0.18%. You can see on the half-day chart as the market clipped up. Now, again, we can go all the way back to Thursday, the 19th of September. It popped up then, slid sideways, started building, popped up again in the morning on the 26th of September, and then just sort of started devolving slowly. We've now blown through the weekly trend line on the half-day chart. 2-day chart sitting right there on it. Weekly chart likewise is sitting on it. High last week was 574.71. High this week, 574.38. And again, we got some nice volume there up to Thursday. Maybe we'll get to average this week, although we're above average 2 weeks ago. Last week we were average. This week we're a little bit below. We may hit up on it again, keep wondering what's going to happen. I'd sort of like to see, this could be a dead week for us. We could have the interim high of last week. This week a dead week. That means that we have okay volume. Volume really doesn't matter this week if we don't hit a higher high. And then next week we get a red spinning top, break the trend line, and start moving down. Don't know if that's going to happen. I'm just sort of looking, thinking, seeing what's shaping up here. Looks like things are weakening some. Doesn't mean that it can't do, though, what it's done over and over. Pull back, pop back up, pull back, pop back up a little higher. It could keep doing that, but at some point it's going to stop doing that. So we'll keep watching, we'll keep waiting, we'll keep seeing. Let's look at the NASDAQ, where it is. Now, these are the tech stocks, and we can see where the prior high was here, hit it twice, the week, the 19th of August, beginning then, and the 16th of September. And then last week, that was the 23rd of September, things popped up on the candle to it. Wick went above, then this week below, and we're not anywhere near that high of last week. Volume, it's okay. It's okay. It's continuing to dissipate. Could it reach up to average? Yeah, if it was a crazy day tomorrow, not likely. Likely that it's, again, just petering off that energy, getting ready to move down. May or may not. It's got a ways to go before it can get back to the high that we saw back on the week beginning the 8th of July. And then that next week where a doji started, if you remember, we did a nice successful down trade. We went into PSQ and actually shorted the market and did well, and then did not stay in too long on that trade. Perfect setup, isn't it? We had an interim high with higher than average volume, red spinning top higher than average volume, and things just pounded over down. Then they rotated back over. So again, we're keeping our eye on things. We're watching the prize and seeing where they might be going. NASDAQ down just 0.07% for the day. So we'll watch, see how Friday ends up. Of course, we've talked about the down move. We are, of course, short 20-year U.S. government bonds. Not a perfect setup here, but we did see it moving up and then it dying, and it has continued to die this week, down 0.94%. This is subject to change at any moment because none of this is strong. We had average volume on the interim high. Then, of course, we had a red candle rotating over, going down. Not the kind of trade I would willingly jump into, but one that we talked about and have seen happening. But again, a weak one at best. It could heat up and get better. We already got decent volume this week and one day to go. But also look at it. It's a red spinning top. It's not a good, strong down candle that's building in power like we saw happen on April the 1st, and then April the 8th, and April the 15th. As you look at volume increasing or holding steady and candles getting bigger, that's what you like to see in a good, strong down move. Now, let's move on to what's up with gold. Gold pulling back just barely. We can see how gold really forced its way up to its interim high back on Thursday afternoon, the 26th of September, down for 2 days, then popped up on Tuesday of this week, and then sort of devolving since then. But again, gold has shown us its stuff with this decent volume over the last going into 3 weeks. And again, high last week was 247.37. This week, 246.98. So not hit that high yet of last week in a smaller candle. So gold may be losing a little bit of its luster. What about Bitcoin? Up 1.35%. Now we saw Bitcoin on the 16th start moving up. Nice green candle last week, the 23rd, and all these days are Mondays starting the weeks. 16th of September, 23rd of September. And then this week, it's turned into a green spinning top. We can see our Tuesday, Wednesday candle was down. Our Thursday candle, 2-day candle is down, pushing through that weekly trend line. And the half-day candle is, of course, forced its way through it in the morning and stayed below it in the afternoon, even though we did see Bitcoin up 1.35% for the day. Volume, I'm going to have to zoom in on that, so it's so hard to see it. It's below average, again, with that red spinning top, almost a doji. And again, we'll keep our eye on Bitcoin. Looks like it's losing a lot of its energy and luster. That is where we are, folks. Patreon members, of course. We've already uploaded for you Charting Cryptos, Commodities, and Currencies at the Patreon page. We will also be uploading for you tonight there the weekly vertical crossovers, and we'll also be emailing that stuff to you. So watch your email. If you don't see it in there, go to the Patreon page always. If for some reason the email doesn't make its way to you, it gets stuck in a spam box or you're traveling, always check the Patreon page. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.